Yo, what they do. I'm your host, Aaron J. Jackson, also known as Marvin Bay, and I welcome you to the 26th episode of the Behind the Beard podcast, presented by the FGO Network. And right now, we have a special and amazing guest on the phone right now. She go by the name of Rabiah Ahmad. For the people that don't know who you are, Rabiah, introduce yourself.
Hello, everyone. My name is Rabiah Ahmad. I am the owner of Lucky 8 Enterprises LLC, and I am also the owner of Kiyomihouse. I am a cosmetologist and I am a hair artist. I've done editorial work, and I'm happy to be here.
I like the fact that you say a hair artist. I never heard that till now. That's what's up. I fuck with that because I'm gonna ask you a couple questions like that. But how you been doing during this quarantine? Like how you been holding up? How's everybody's doing your end?
Actually, it's been good. I thought it was gonna be trouble because I stopped doing hair completely. I've been diving into different things, arts and crafts at home, just trying to get my bearings. I thought it was gonna be tough only because when money stops, people get a little crazy,
Of course.
and it hasn't been hard at all. To be honest with you, I've been chilling. I've been putting my hands into some stuff that I didn't think that I was interested in. But
Like
hair
what?
has definitely slowed down.
What have you been doing? Like as it like you said like you've been dibbling dabbling. What have you been doing?
I have always been very into holistics, as you know,
Mm-hmm.
and I wanted to start creating a line of products just for hair, skin, body,
Yeah,
period.
yeah.
And I've been looking into starting a little company with that, but I've been taking it slow because sometimes it takes time to build
Of
that
course,
up.
especially when you're doing it by yourself in the beginning stages.
Exactly. And the money, for real, is a thing that you have to watch out for, especially in times like these.
Yeah.
And I've been pulling together, getting my family involved and everything like that, and everybody's really been on board, so I'm happy about that.
Yeah, that's yeah, especially during this quarantine time, and everything's shut down overseas too. In China and all these places, so it's
Yeah.
kind of hard, on that end, especially like what me and my team been trying to figure out different things. You know how that
Yeah.
should be. Yeah, I mean, it's a slow process, but I look at the positivity of the things. But I'm not gonna lie though. I'm not gonna lie. Every day I'm just like, yo, we still dealing with this. I'll be like, yo,
Yeah.
we still dealing with this. Is crazy. Like, but all you can do
Yeah.
is just take it day by day and just But this is a perfect time to read. I tell everybody, you know how big I am on reading. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So it's a perfect time to learn. Learn how to cook. That's what I've been doing, learn how to cook and stuff like that. Cause
Oh, that's
honestly,
what's up.
I never really told you, but I'm like merging my way into being a pescatarian. So I haven't been eating meat for the past couple
Oh,
weeks.
okay.
So like only been
I
eating
know
like fish.
you hinted a little bit about like not eating certain things, but I didn't know what direction you were going in for real. So
Yeah,
that's good.
gotta be careful what you eat, especially during this time. Can't be eating
Hmm.
junk food. You gotta keep your vitamin C up, and eat a lot of plants and stuff like that, plant based diets and shit like
Most
that.
definitely.
So for the people
Most
that
definitely.
don't know, I met you through Munch. Shout out to Munch.
Yes.
We had like a podcast party one time, and I don't know, it was something about Rabia, like her hair that stood out. I was like, yo, I ain't gonna lie, y'all, I was lit. I was lit that night. But she stood out to me. It was just something about her aura. I was like, yo, she's dope. And turned out we have a lot of mutual friends, and we ended up just like vibing at a park, and we just vibed. Like that was like the cool thing. I had conversation, and then I just found out, you did hair, you do hair. I mean, and you're your hairstylist
Yeah.
and stuff like that. And I want to know, well, I know, but for the people that don't know, where you from originally, and how was your upbringing like?
Okay, so originally I was born in Chicago, Illinois, on the
Mm-hmm.
South Side, but I was just born there. So my mom, she traveled with me to Miami, and
Mm-hmm.
she really wanted to make me very well rounded. So she traveled a lot of different places. Like I lived in New York for a little while. I went, I was in pre-K and first grade.
Yeah.
I skipped the grade while I was up there because New York is actually ahead of down south by a very long shot.
Oh
And
wow.
when she brought me down back to Miami, we left again. I went to St. Louis. I lived in Jamaica. I lived in Orlando. I lived in a multitude of places that kind of molded me to who I am, but Miami has always been my comeback, has always been
Yeah.
my home, you know? So everything that I do has always been Miami, Miami. Wherever I go, no matter what it is, Miami.
Yeah.
My mom is very holistic herself. She was a vegetarian for a very long time,
Mm-hmm.
and she brought me up knowing herbs and reading a lot of books and just being very in tune to who I am, especially as an African American woman.
Yeah.
And she made that an important and a key part for me, especially. So growing up, being in school and everything, people would constantly ask me, "Where you from? You're not from here." And I'm like, I've lived here for most of my life. Like I am definitely in Miami, ride or die. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I guess because of how I was molded, people could tell that I was very different. So I never
Yeah.
wanted to fit into the mold. I kept that going for my whole life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
that's the best way. I tell a lot of people and the people I interview, like, going through that stages and going through high school or middle school, we was like kind of like the outcasts, like the creative people and stuff like that. We were cool.
Mm-hmm.
We were the cool kids as well, but we was kind of like the outcasts because we did our own thing. At the end of the day, we was into different things, and I was
Right.
the type. I always say this. I was always the type of kid that I was always cool with the nerds. I was always cool with like the gamers. I was always cool with like everybody. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I was definitely that cool, that child. I was one of a musical theater type. I love drama. I was
yeah,
always in theater. I was brought up around music and dancing and acting and drawing and playing instruments.
yeah,
Actually, me and Munch have known each other since probably about 5 or 6 years old. And
yeah.
he was playing the trumpet, and I was playing. I was playing the trumpet as well, actually, for like one summer, and he took it and ran with it. Me,
Yeah.
I took acting and ran with that. So I've always been into theater.
I'm not gonna lie. I regret not taking drama. Like my class year, I think, well, my generation, like going to high school, I think those were like the last years of like having those type of curriculums in school, because
Mhm.
like
Mhm.
around certain times they started taking away classes and stuff like that. But I kind of like, the more
Yeah.
I get older, I'm like, yo, I should have took music class, I should have took dancing class, I should have took cooking class, I should have took home economics, I should have, you know what I'm saying? So, but
You
you
know
live and
what?
you
Don't
learn.
feel bad about it.
Oh no,
Not to cut you
negative.
off, but don't feel bad about it because I didn't do most of my taking those classes in school. Like
Mhm.
elementary school, don't get me wrong, I put it to the test, but I grew up in summer programs doing that. It's the place called the African Heritage Cultural Arts Center.
Mhm.
The one right there
On
off of
62nd.
62nd Street
Yeah.
and 22nd Avenue. Yeah,
Mhm.
I grew up there. It's a lot of artists that you see on TV and things of that
They
sort that I
actually
know
Moonlight.
just from that place.
Moonlight. I believe. Don't misquote me, but I think one of the dudes that was filming that filmed the
Mhm.
Moonlight. I think he was like in that, in that facility. You know what I'm saying? And as a kid, you used to pass through 60 second all the time, and I didn't
Mhm.
understand that at the time. I was just like, okay, this is that building. But the more you get older, I feel like a lot of people in Miami, we have a lot of good heritage in Miami. You know what I'm saying? When it comes
Yes, we
down
do.
to, not just only sports, but in the art world. But we don't shed that light. I feel like it's very disguised in that matter. You know what I'm saying? Or it
And that's
was.
crazy. A lot of my friends who are in the arts, they are traveling and do a lot of things. Like,
Mm,
of course, a lot of people know Brianna.
of course.
She was, yeah, she raps and everything. She went to the Culture Arts Center. We grew up
Mm,
together.
mm,
Um, you got this phenomenal dancer. His name is Terrell Rowe. He came out of there like he's doing a lot of things with kids. He was doing Broadway. He was doing all type of stuff. It's a lot of my friends that dance and sing and stuff like that. You see them on TV, and it's like, for me to see them is like, oh, all
that's
right,
big.
cool. That's what you're doing now. You feel me?
Yeah.
And
And
then we catch up later.
they went to
but
the
for
West
us,
though, right? Did they go to the West?
Some of them went to the West. Some of them went to Alapatas.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it
It
depends. The middle
depends.
school, you know, the line that goes from middle school to high
Yeah.
school. Some of them went to Central because I think James went to Central. Some of them went to Jackson. You know, we were
You
spread
know,
out
yeah,
because it was a
spread out.
summer program. It wasn't something like we going into school and this
Yeah,
was our magnet program type
of
of thing.
course.
Now, don't get me wrong, you did have magnet students, you know, the New
Mm-hmm.
World School of the Arts and the Dash and things of that sort, but we all collectively got together. The arts isn't the same anymore.
Yeah, it's like, damn, but you know, it's so crazy that they taking all these programs, not even just the school curriculums, but just these programs for these kids. Now these kids don't really have nothing to do but be on their phone. You know, I sound like an old
Yeah,
head right now, but the more you get older, you start to appreciate like those fun times of just, you know, going to playing basketball outside or, you know,
mm-hmm.
playing games around with your friends outside. You feel me? We stayed
Yeah,
inside too, but we also went outside because we got bored of staying inside all the time. But you know, it's just sad because.
yeah. For
Go ahead.
me, I was a video game head.
Me too. Me too. I ain't gonna lie.
I was a video game head. I love the arts and stuff and watching movies and stuff, but I was constantly on a video game because of my uncle. If it wasn't at his house, it was at a cousin's house, or if I wasn't doing that, I had my hands in some type of arts and crafts. That's just how my mom brought me up, you know?
But do you think, like, you know, growing up, you know, in the inner city, you know, when we talk about art and stuff like that, and the more that we're in this field, we're just like, yo, art is it could really change our lives. You know what I'm saying? We just thought,
Yes.
okay, yeah, it's just a hobby. You know what I'm saying? But now you into the art field, you in the creative field, you just like, yo, you could really take this shit to the next level. We just thought it was just a dream that you just be an artist and that's it. You know what I'm saying? But then the more
Yeah,
different fields you go into, it's a form of art, and that's the crazy thing about it. You know, um,
it is.
yeah. So how did you get inspired, or who influenced you into getting hair? You know, or doing hair? I'm sorry.
Okay, so my mom, to be honest with you,
Shout out to
she
shout out
pushed
to your moms.
right. She pushed me to do everything, and she's like, "I don't care if you want to build a house out of toenails. I'm gonna help you do it, but you gonna be the best at it, you know." So
Mm-hmm.
I just kind of found my way through things. So when I was younger, she would always tell the story. But when I was younger, she would like I would try to braid in her hair. She had locks.
Yeah.
So I would try to braid it and then stuff like that. And I remember one day she was like, "I don't like that." She always kept a G with me. She never was like, "Oh, that's so cute. Try
Mm-hmm.
another one." Hell no, that wasn't my mama. She was like, I don't like that. Take that out and try again. And I'm little looking at her like, okay, sis, like, just
That
gonna come
hard
for me
work. That
and
hard work.
braid. Nah, but my mom was raw, so
Mm-hmm.
it made me have thick skin with other people, you know? So it was never me feeling bad if something looked bad or, you know, I had a bad day or whatever.
Yeah.
She instilled that in me, and the arts did too. But
Mm-hmm.
I wanted my initial dream. I always wanted to be on Broadway and acting, things of that sort. But you know, things happen, and it took me a new route. And I fell in love with doing hair. I went away for an internship with the Disney College program. I think a
Okay.
lot of people have heard of it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when I really put my hands into it because you broke. They paying you whatever they want to pay you. All they do is give you somewhere to live and transportation, and you gotta take care of yourself. So I was like, screw it, I'm gonna start doing hair. So I
Yeah.
did all my homegirls' hairs. I'm gonna start doing everybody else in the complex hair. But when I got back to Miami, me being such a meticulous person and a perfectionist,
Mm-hmm.
I killed it, and I've been killing it ever since. You know.
Yeah. That's wild. Like, do you remember the first person that you did their hair? Like, do you remember the first person you did?
Yeah, yeah. It was
Mm.
an old friend of mine. Her name was Michelle. That
Oh,
was the
wow.
first person. She used to push me too, just like my mom. She was like, girl, do my hair. You know, sew this in, do this, do that. I know you could do it. She used to brag to other people like, my friend could do my hair. Knowing I was horrible at that time.
Yeah, yeah.
She used to be like, you doing my hair. But I thank her for it, you know.
But how was that feeling? Like, oh damn, I got my first head. Like, I got my first head. Like, how was that? How was that feeling for you?
It felt good. We all, you know, when you try something new, it's
Mm-hmm.
like shit. either it's gonna turn out good or it's gonna turn out bad. But let me try it out. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
And because she gave me so much encouragement behind it, I always wanted to critique it, and I always wanted to
Oh
switch things up.
man,
And
I know that feeling. To this day, I still do.
yeah,
I still go through that. Like it's certain people that I ask, "Oh, how do you feel?" Because they gonna give it to me raw. I don't need
right,
no like not saying it's yes men around me, but obviously they gonna like it because they just fans of what I do. You know what I'm saying?
right.
But it's certain people I ask because it's like they gonna tell me, nah, change that because of X, Y, and Z, and they gonna explain to you why. They're not gonna just say, nah, don't do that. You feel me?
Hmm.
So that's
See,
and go ahead, go ahead.
I'm sorry to cut you off. No, but when it came to the critiquing part, that's what I wanted to touch on. Nowadays, when I'm doing hair, especially if I've done it for a magazine or if I've done it for some type of campaign or what have you,
Mm-hmm.
because they've heard about me through word of mouth, word of mouth goes a long way. So it's like whatever I do, it's like, oh my God, you feel me?
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm everybody's had their moments where it's like you looking
Yo,
at that and it's like, oh no, but I mean, if you like it, I love it. You feel
yo,
me?
I feel your pain. That's how I feel in photography. It's like you like it, cause to me it's whatever. Like, but I guess it's because we do it so much. It's because it's like we do it so much. It's like, all right, you know what I'm saying? It's like it's not
Hmm.
repetition, but repetition has a part of it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So.
Sometimes with that mundane feeling comes over me, I
Mhm.
have to stop. And a lot of people, they don't stop. Like some girls who do lace wigs will continuously do lace wigs their whole life. You feel me?
Yeah.
Like, or continuously do the same braids their whole life. Me, if I'm starting to do hairstyles too much, I get bored of it and I want to stop. So I
Yeah.
found ways. I'm like, let me find somebody who wants something different. Yeah, I can do that for you, sis. And then I'll do it, and bam, I'm doing something else. You get what I'm saying? It makes
But
me happy.
you know what it is? It's really because we see the best in ourselves. We critique ourselves every day
Hmm.
we wake up. You know what I'm saying? That's like that greatness, that striving for greatness gene that we have in us. Like when I wake up, I'm like, yo, I gotta be better than I was yesterday. What can I do?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I definitely understand that. It's just you strive for greatness. It's like the more you do the same thing, it's like you become that, and it's like you putting yourself in that box, and you isolating yourself, and you don't want to do that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I dislike that feeling very much. So I'm always trying to try something new. As long as it all ties into what I love, I'm going to try it. That's why I was taking my steps on doing, the whole product line thing.
Yeah.
And it don't just have to be hair. It can be skin. It can be, it can be your teeth. It can be internal. Because even when I talk to my clients, I keep it so G with them. That's why they come back. Like, it's not, okay, sis,
Mm.
I'm going to cover up this patch for you. No, I'm sitting there like, what's going on? You get what I'm saying? Let's
Yeah.
have a talk.
It's the
Because
relationship.
right, because the last time I saw you, you ain't had this patch, but today you got it. So something's going on. We
Mm-hmm.
need to figure this out. You feel me? And I'm talking to them about health. I'm talking to them about wellness. I'm talking to them about how they eat and how they sleep and who they talking to,
Mm.
things of that sort. My life may not be going great at that moment, but it makes me so happy to be able to tell another young woman and put her on the path. Put her
Yeah.
on a
Yeah.
great path and see her doing well. That shit makes me
You
fly.
know
Like,
why? You know
that
why I
makes me
like
feel
that?
great.
You know why I like that is because I feel like a lot of women need that. You know what I'm saying? They need that
Hmm.
push. They need that advice because you know what I'm saying. It's a lot of things I feel like, and I could be wrong, but I feel like a lot of women they go y'all go through a lot. You know what I'm saying, on a day to day
Yeah.
basis. So it's like I feel like for a woman to see another woman succeed, that and on top of that, not only succeed, they giving advice on top of that, because advice and knowledge is very powerful. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
by you doing that and inspiring, and I told you this before, like you get to inspire other people, and literally that you could say one word, and that one word could just spark something into somebody else's mind, and I really appreciate that, because we need more of that. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't really like giving game, and that's the messed up part of it.
Hmm.
You know.
Yeah. I think I used to think that's just a Miami thing. because a lot of people in Miami, they'll come together, but they really don't come
They
together.
be fake.
Like,
They be fake. Fake coming together.
yeah, and it's so sad to say because I love my city, and I'm a very open and nice person, but
Yeah.
I try to give as much as I'm giving.
Yeah.
Nowadays, I only give as much as I'm giving, and that kind of doesn't feel good.
But you know what though? It's a good
Yeah,
thing.
go ahead.
It's a good thing because no matter how we see, cause I know how you feel. I go through the same shit. I give so much. I give so much free game, and you don't really see anything in return. But it's all good. I ain't looking for the return. You know what I'm saying? I look at it as a blessing. God gonna bless me in the future. I don't look at it as niggas ain't showing no love. Ooh, man, that's not
Right.
that's not really the purpose. You know what I'm saying? The more you give, I feel like the more you give, the more people appreciate you. They probably not gonna say it,
True.
but and as well, people are watching. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people are watching. We might not know who's watching, but people, believe it or not, are watching. So that's the benefit of giving so much.
Yeah, I understand that.
So when you started from just having just one person doing one person's hair to having multiple people's hair, doing different people's hairs, um, excuse me, when you tell yourself that you was gonna take it seriously, take it to that next level?
When the money reached a certain point to where I couldn't look back.
Yeah, most definitely.
when when it went from me doing $50 full head of braids in my mama's house to me making close to 150 to 200 off of one head and
Wow.
deciding whether or not I want to set an appointment or not. I realized then because I started off in the house.
Yeah.
So my mom would come in if she saw something that was wrong or whatever the case may be. She would be like, you shouldn't do this in front of them. You get what I'm saying? Or no, you shouldn't do that in front of them. And I'm like, well, girl, they all right. But I wasn't taking it seriously. I was treating them as if they were a homie down the street or something.
Oh,
Even
she
though
was
I
kind of
loved what
teaching
I
you.
did.
She was kind of teaching you like how to treat a client or something like that. That's what you saying?
Right, right. And my mother and my mom, she's my family's Muslim, so they're very militant and they're very strong on their beliefs. So it's like they never want to be look tarnished in front of other people.
Yeah.
So it was always very, hey, don't do this, don't do that. And plus, I had clients that would text me anonymously, be like, I love your craft or whatever, but I don't like when you did this, and that. Like, customers would do that to you, especially if you start off as this good stylist, you get your house. You get what I'm saying? They take you seriously, but they really don't. So they gave it to me blood raw, and I actually appreciate that because corrective criticism, a lot of people can't handle that
at all.
They take criticism as just plain criticism, but corrective criticism, if you know you're doing wrong and you know you need to tighten up, I love that. So from there, it made me want to go get my license. It made me want to learn more because I thought I knew everything because I'm doing hair.
Yeah.
But once I got into school for it and I seen them loans hit, I was like, oh, this is serious. I learned more than what I thought I was learning. I learned the sanitation behind it. I learned everything, and that made me take everything seriously. So now when I go to go get my nails done, or if I'm going to go get my own hair done or something like that, I'm looking at how they're handling themselves. And I might even stop them in the middle, like, I'm sorry, that's not sanitary. You can't touch me with that comb. You just use that on somebody else. You get what I'm saying?
Most definitely.
It all plays a role into itself,
Yeah.
I definitely started taking it seriously when I noticed that people were paying attention. People were like talking about me for real. People were pushing me, and so to speak, in the direction that I needed to go, and I didn't want to disappoint anybody. So I was like, what, let me buck up, put my big girl panties on, and let's do this.
Yeah, most definitely. That's what's up. At least I also read that in your interview that you were dealing with like kind of how should I say this? I'm trying to remember. It was the Voyage interview. You were talking about.
Okay.
I did my little research. Um, you was talking about like the roadblocks you know what I'm saying, that you had. Talk about that. Like, what were the challenges you was facing when you was trying to take it serious around that time? Because you know, in the beginning stages, you know, it gets challenging. You know.
Yeah, I think what a lot of people don't realize is that fast money leaves fast too. The faster it comes in, it's the faster it goes out. You know,
Oh
and
God, yeah, most definitely.
and if you're not taught how to handle money, you're not going to know how to handle it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you have people who live in certain areas and their parents will teach them, hey, I got $5,000. They looking at that $5,000 like a gold mine. Like, oh my God,
That's
I
once
can
in a
go and start
lifetime.
me a business right now, you know?
Yeah.
But with me, I have to say, I spent so much money and wasted so much money worrying about what I looked like on the outside instead of taking care of real business with
Mm-hmm.
my money and putting it into itself, that I lost a lot over the years. And that's a roadblock that a lot of us put on ourselves because, you
Mm-hmm.
know, in our community is very materialistic. You
Of
know,
course,
I'm making this
flashy.
money, people know my name. I got to have this Gucci purse. I got to look good when I'm going to the club, you know?
Oh
And
God, yeah.
I was never the Gucci prototype, but I had to look good. You feel me?
Yeah.
And I had to change my mindset on how that was because it's not worth wearing your money. It's more worth of what you're doing as far as putting it away financially. You know, how are you making those assets build? Are you even taking
Yeah.
care of your profits and your losses? Do you
Mm-hmm.
even know what an LLC is? Do you even have a bank account for that? You know, I had to start really looking into those things because when I started working with people who needed 1099s from me, you get what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah, yeah,
Needing
yeah.
my EIN number because I'm working with this company. It's like, oh shit, I don't even have that. I don't know what that is.
Big
Let me,
dog status.
right, and I had to get right with that. That is a struggle that a lot of us go through, and a lot of us don't talk about that. It's
Exactly.
like, oh, go start a business, and it's like, all right, well, teach me what I'm supposed to do.
Exactly. And you know what's so crazy? I also read that you started to ask more questions, you know, about the
Yeah.
business side of everything, you know. I feel like I went through that too, you know, all through last year in 2018, trying to figure out, yo, how do I get an LLC? Or, you know, how do I do this? Or how do I do that? You know what I'm saying? Especially in the, you know, black communities, like, we not taught that. And it's really easy, you know, to do all
Mm-hmm.
these things. It's not easy, but it's easy to find out on what it is and what you got to pay. But you know what's so crazy? I read this through the Uncle Luke book, and he was talking about how, you know, when he started Two Live Crew and trying to do the business side of everything, he went to the downtown in the courthouse, to, you know,
Mm-hmm.
file all those papers. You know, it's the '80s, so they had to go to the courthouse. So he was like, "Yo, he said he didn't even see no person like him. He was like the only black person in the courthouse. Two, once he seen that, he started asking a lot of questions. Like, yo, how you do this? How you do that? How you do that? He's like, yo, to this day, I always ask, how do you know what I'm saying? Ask questions because you never know what you will find out. You know what I'm saying? It's always good to ask
Yeah.
questions, and that's why I was like, damn, I appreciate you for saying that because that's a very true statement.
Mm-hmm. Mentorship is a big thing. But remember, even when we have our conversations and I see you doing certain things, what I do, I'm like, hey, do you think this is a good idea?
Yeah,
Like,
most
or
definitely.
hey, how do I go about doing this? And me, sometimes I get held back because I'm like, dang, I ask a lot of younger people some things, but to be honest with you, it's a lot of new shit going on out here. Excuse
Day
my
by day.
French, but I don't know about it. You feel me? Because
I'm
I'm
me and you
still in the
both.
dark, so I'm asking.
Me and you both. It's new shit every day. Like I'm like it's crazy. It's like day by day you learn something new, and it's
Mm-hmm.
just crazy. Like, you know, I don't mind. I be learning. My little brother 17. He just turned 17. And I was like, I be asking him like, yo, what's new? Like, I don't know what's out. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, and he be teaching me stuff like on what's going on. He be teaching me about cars and, you know, technology and stuff like that. You know, they even got. I just seen just recently, you know, is this gun that is like it's ran by tech, like, you know, wires and shit, technology and shit, and you could tell how many bullets you got in the gun and the pistol or whatever. I'm like, yo, what the hell? You know
That's
what I'm saying?
crazy.
It's not even analog no more. You know what I'm saying? It's very
Mm-hmm.
digital, living in a digital age. So when and during this digital age, I always ask all these questions because when you in that field and when you in that paint and when them motherfuckers ask you them questions, you better be on point. You know what I'm saying? So
Right, right.
so most definitely, I definitely understand about the questions on that.
But even when you were the question you asked me as far as like the roadblocks, another roadblock was mentorship.
Oh yeah,
A
yeah.
lot of us don't have mentorship. Going back to what I said, because our community don't give us that, or we don't know where to look,
Hmm.
and or it's in some small corner somewhere that we never heard of. So I believe that's a big thing, and that was very hard for me to find. It still is hard
It's
for me to
hard.
find to this
That's
day, as
saying.
far as mentorship is concerned, because I've reached out to so many stylists. I've reached out to people who not even in the stylist world, the cosmetology field or anything like that, just to see how they move certain type of ways. And people are very funny about giving you words of
Advice.
upliftment,
Yeah.
should I say, or even
Yeah.
educating you on certain things because people are scared that you're going to pass by them. I
Yeah.
mean, but that's what this is all about. You're supposed to surpass the next person. Somebody has to take the torch,
Hmm.
So,
I feel like it's really it's two things. It's an ego thing, and they just like you said, they're afraid that the little homie gonna surpass them. You know what I'm saying? They're afraid
yeah.
that dang, like, which I understand in a way, because you gotta understand too. A lot of people, they swear they know everything. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
I understand their perspective. A lot of people not willing to earn that position, but it's kind of making it more harder for people like us that's really in into our field, that's trying to seek for mentorship. And it's kind of like, damn, like, y'all making it hard on us. Like, we trying to really learn, and y'all really, it's just one of them type of situations.
Hmm.
I see they side, but I see more of our side more, because it's like we really want this. We really want to grow. There ain't no, I'm just gonna take a break and just, nah. If you gotta push me, push me. You feel me?
Right,
So,
right.
not most
Yeah, this
definitely.
COVID-19 thing is putting everybody on what they really are.
Hmm.
There's really testing the temperature of a lot of people out here as far as their hustle is concerned and what they could bring forth to the table.
Yeah.
It's burning me up that I'm not doing hair right now, but I had to
It's like an
find,
itch. It's like a
you
high.
know,
It's like a high. I tell people all the time, what we do is like a high. We trying to reach that high. You know what I'm saying? Each
right,
day.
right.
Each day we trying to reach that high and reach those mountains. You know what I'm saying? And it's like
Hmm.
the fact that I'm not able to do what I want to do outside, and I have to take precautions. It's kind of like it messes with you. Day to day when you wake up
Yeah,
early in the morning. It's like, damn. Oh, okay, another day. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
I feel you on that.
I've been tested. People still text me, be like, "Hey, you doing hair?" And I'm like, "Nah, I'm trying to survive."
Most definitely. So you talked about working from home.
Hmm.
What was it a dream? I mean, I think it's everybody's dream that's in your field. But was it a dream to work in the shop? And if so, how come?
Hell no.
Oh wow.
Hell no. Hell no. I never wanted to work in a shop, and I'm gonna give you the secret as to why. I'm giving you the
Now
game
I'm
right now.
interested. I'm very interested, honestly.
I only worked in a shop off and on because I knew it would probably get me to meet a couple of people.
Mm,
I
yeah.
like to working one on one with my clients because we got into each other. We started building relationships.
Hmm.
But as far as shop life is concerned, I never really liked it because I didn't like the things that were behind it, especially black shop life.
Yeah.
I didn't like the stigmatism behind it, so I stayed away from it as much as I could. Um, my thing was word of mouth. But as far as like me having my own shop or something, I probably would do that in the future. But me, I never. Okay, let me back up.
Take your time. I'm interested.
Owning owning a shop in a plaza that somebody else owns for real, but you're only just paying the rent and you're gutting it out to make your
Mm.
dream come true in there, but then you have the potential of losing it the next month because you can't pay that 1,500, 2,500, $3,000 just to keep it. I always thought that was so stupid because I'm very calculated. I want to cut out the middleman.
Of
I've always
course.
been like that in my head. I always said, if I'm gonna have a shop, I'm gonna own the land, I'm gonna build the shop, and if it don't go good how I want it, I'm gonna make the money off the next person who want to come in and get this shop. You
Mm-hmm.
feel me?
Mm-hmm.
I've always thought that way. Like, how can I keep money produced? Because people start salons and then they gone in 2.5 seconds. I've always seen that happen. Like they come up and they go down. They come up and then they go down. Unless
Mm-hmm.
you some type of celebrity stylist or your business is like creating all type of crazy revenue,
Yeah.
you ain't gonna keep up. I worked in a shop with a stylist where she was booming for like 2 years, and in the next 10, 12 years, she was down and out.
But why
And,
you think?
we could barely keep people in there.
But why you think is that? Like, is it the way they are, or does it depend on the person, or why you think?
For me, I always felt like it was a down south thing because when I left to other places, you would have families that come to the same shop for 25 years. You doing the cousin's
Mm.
hair, the sister's hair, the daughter's hair. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
But in Miami, it's whoever's hot at that moment. If you ain't
Mm.
hot today, I'm not coming back to you. I'm going to this person. You
Yeah.
get what
You
I'm
did
saying?
tell me that. You
Nobody
did tell me
has
that.
a loyalty factor down there,
Yeah.
or nobody. Like, nobody just stays. I've been going to this girl to get my hair done for 15 years, and now my daughter go to her, and my daughter's daughter go to her. There's
Generational.
barely anything like that unless you're going to a lot of the Haitian salons or the Hispanic salons.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. Wow, I
So
never really thought
it's
about it
all
like
about
that.
who's hot.
I never really
Hmm.
thought about it like that. I didn't know. I just know that you know, based on what my uncle's barbershop, he tells me, the the barbers paid for the chair, but he owned the barbershop, so it makes sense for him. But I understand the ownership. That's what really got my mind when you said that, because a lot of people have to understand ownership is key. Now, if you
Hmm.
under me, I don't want you to work for me forever. Like, I want you to be your own boss. And I think that's a perfect way of thinking, and that's how I feel like you'll have a longevity into your career. If you just
Yeah.
saying, "Oh yes sir, yes sir," like, "Oh yes ma'am," like, you're not gonna go nowhere. You know what I'm saying? You just gotta figure it out. I feel like, but I never really knew that. I never really knew that. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's a whole different type of world. Even when it comes to how you pay as a stylist, you're just renting a chair, right?
Mhm.
Okay, you rent that chair, you pay every week, and this isn't all salons. Well, most salons, except for the higher end, should I say?
Yeah.
You pay your chair every week, but you gave this person a job in your place. They are independent contractor. You pay, they paying their
Yeah.
rent every week, but it's not guaranteed they're gonna come back this week. How you gonna continue to make money to keep them lights on and everything?
Exactly.
You don't find a lot of African American salons or even ethnic salons, period, that will have their staff on commission like you do when you go to a luxury salon. Those luxury salons will sit there for years and years and years and probably only have 2 or 3 stylists in there, but they're working off commission.
Wow.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
house gets they cut and the stylist gets they cut, and it's everybody working together. It's like a team effort to keep this place afloat.
Wow. Wow. That makes a
Yeah.
whole lot of sense. It's kind of like a breaking. Like, it's like you splitting. It's like you splitting
Hmm.
the gap. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, instead of working as a team, you're not really working as a team. You kind of working just to take advantage. You know?
Basically, I'm gonna come in. I'm gonna see what homegirl to the left doing. I'm gonna pay my little rent, but if this rent don't satisfy me, I'm gonna go to the next girl shop and pay my rent
Wow.
there, or I'm gonna go to the next person shop and pay my rent there. There's no family when it
Wow.
comes to this.
That's crazy.
Like, and I've seen it happen day in and day out, year after year. Place to place that I've gone to, I've maybe worked in 3 salons in
Hmm.
my whole close to 15 years of doing hair.
Wow.
maybe 3 salons, and I never really liked that feeling, you know.
Hmm. Yeah, you got that boss mentality though. That's just what it is.
Yeah, I don't like the middleman. I
Facts.
don't.
Yeah, hey, don't you feel like you wish people thought like us? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like cutting the middleman out, man. I ain't trying to.
Yeah,
Hey,
yeah.
what you
When I wanted
Go ahead, go ahead.
when I wanted to buy hair from China, I didn't want to buy hair through PayPal from China.
Yeah,
I wanted
facts.
to go to China.
Of course,
That's
hands
what I
down.
wanted to do. I wanted to meet these people at their factory. I wanted to see what you doing.
Hmm.
Let me. I have that. I want to say overseer mentality. That's a bad word. That boss mentality. Let's
Hmm.
just say that. I have that. I need to see what you're doing. I need to know that it's correct. You get what I'm
Of
saying? I need to
course.
know where my money going to. I need to calculate this on paper. Like, I'm a numbers person.
Hmm.
I, I'm telling
Hey,
you.
me and you
I'm
both.
telling you.
I be telling me and my business partner. I be like, yo, how the numbers looking like?
Right. Right. If it ain't making sense, I don't know what to
Hey,
tell
what
you.
them numbers looking like? You heard me?
It
Oh
gotta make
God.
sense. I
Yeah.
think everything in business has to make sense. If it doesn't make sense, how are you going to succeed? And maybe I'm holding myself back on certain things by not doing certain things and taking it the route that other people take. But I'm already an unconventional type of person, so I'm
Yeah.
gonna keep doing what I'm doing because it's been landing me in some great places.
Yeah. Yeah. Most definitely. Like, and we gonna get back. We gonna get to the the collaboration you did with Reebok. I want to talk about that later on. But
Okay.
um. So we talking about the business side. How did you
Mm-hmm.
um implement that? Like, how did you apply that and understand, like, yo, because remember you talked about how, okay, I used to get, quick little $50 and 250, but how did you, okay, and then also the LLC as well, like, how did you implement that after you got all that stuff together?
Okay, so as far as implementing how to make it business like,
Mm-hmm.
I took it from to the next level. Instead of doing it in my house, I started traveling to my clients, and I started figuring out how that could work for me. But before then, I had to learn how a salon worked. That's why I even took my initial job working in a salon, and it was in Virginia, and I was living in Virginia Beach at the time, and I was working with this woman who actually does what's her name, Coco from SWV.
Oh
She does
wow.
her hair. Yeah,
Wow.
and that was my first like small taste at working with a celebrity or whatever the case may be. And I watched every single day how she ran her salon because she ran it by herself,
Mm-hmm.
and she had consistent clients. And that's why I said it's different when you're out of town than when you're in Miami working in the salon. It's very
Yeah.
different. So every morning she would have me wake up at 5 o'clock. I come to the salon. I'm washing
Wow.
hair. You know, I'm washing hair, and I would get tipped off of washing hair because that's all the old ladies come in real early before they go to church or work or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
And then in the evening, that's when the young girls came in, and I noticed how she twerked it because the Navy bases were near us. So those women would come in, and it never was the same women, but she kept consistent customers from the Navy bases
Wow.
coming in because she was always out there marketing herself. And
Work
she
ethic.
taught me, right, she taught me always carry 5 or more cards with you. So while you out and you see some girl, she need her hair done, tell her, I know you got your own stylist, but when your stylist out of town, hit me up. That could be your next client for a
Mm.
long time. Like, she just was kicking me game. That was the first person that I could say really gave it to me blood raw and was teaching me a lot. And I'm so thankful for that. And when I came back to Miami, a lot of stuff that she taught me, I took that and ran with it. What you
Hmm.
think I
That
wasn't?
hustle,
I
hey,
took
that
that and
hustle.
ran with
That's that Miami mentality, that hustle spirit. We got that.
it.
That's in our
Right.
genes.
Right, and for any other young woman who wanted to know, I was giving them everything. I was never holding back. You want some information? I'm going to give you every bit of information I got. Because it
Hmm.
don't matter what I tell you, how I run my business, how I run my business, how you run it is going to be different. You might
Yeah.
succeed, you might not, but I'm going to give you all the game, though.
Hmm. What might work for me might not work for you, but if I could tell you little bits and
Exactly.
pieces, that could help you in your business.
Right. And as far as implementing the LLC and everything, that literally just came in maybe a year ago. Because
Hmm.
I remember I was talking to you about it.
Yeah,
I
yeah, I
wanted
remember
to
that.
figure out how to really legitimize everything and put it into play. So, I was talking to you about the fictitious names and how do I incorporate my EIN with my LLC? Like, how do I get this off the ground? Like, I want to tell everybody who's listening, it doesn't matter when you start, just start. Because I
Facts.
started very late as far as trying to really put it on paper and making it legitly in the bank. You
Hmm.
feel me?
Hmm.
But I was always cash on hand. I always kept that on me. You get what I'm saying?
Oh God, yeah, most
But
definitely.
right. But as far as letting these people know that okay, this is what I'm making. All right, I'm gonna pay my taxes on this. All right, I'm gonna do that. I literally just started doing that. So I don't want anybody to think that it's too late or it's too early or I should have been did this. No, it's whenever you get there. Because some people learn slower than other people. It's not saying that you are slow. It's just whatever you learn at that time. That's what you need to know.
And it's
You
not a
feel me? Or
race.
maybe you weren't
It's not a race at all as well too.
right. 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 It's all at your own pace. Like I'm still taking my time because I feel like I've been in so many doors and without it. But I'm like, you know what? It's time for me to get there because for some reason these doors are opening quicker and quicker and quicker,
Hmm.
and I don't
Hmm.
need nobody saying she ain't got it all together. You know?
Yeah.
So I put myself in a room with people who already had it together, and now I'm like, I'm playing catch up with myself. Like, oh
Hmm.
shit, I'm supposed to be doing this. Ooh, I heard her say this. Ooh, let me go find out what this is. Like, I'm listening more rather than talking.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Like most definitely because when you in them type of places and you see like people that you kind of look up to, you know what I'm saying, from a distance, and then you in
Mhm.
that rim, you in that same room, you not like the ones that's gonna be like, yeah, I know it all, yeah, I got this, just chill. Nah, if you listen, you won't miss a beat. You know what I'm saying? People that just talk so
Mhm.
much, and I hate that. I hate when people around me that talk so much. Especially, and me and you talk about this all the time, especially when we go to these events and all that. When we go to these events, a lot of people be thinking they know everything. They just want to sound like they know everything. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I
Right.
hate. Like I'd rather just listen. You know what I'm saying? Listening is key, and that brings knowledge into all that.
Yeah. I definitely believe in that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I was listening to this woman talk when I went to, I think it was her interview or something. I think I stumbled onto it or
Mm-hmm.
whatever the case may be. Don't quote me on it. I don't know who it was. But she said something that really like resonated with me. She was like, as far as your age is concerned, throw that out the window. The only
Mm-hmm.
thing you need to know is where you're going. Visualize it. She said, smell it. She said, feel it. All that. It may not be tangibly being able to feel it right now, but when you smell it and you feel it and you hear it and you put a sound to it and you put in your mind on it, things will come into play.
Yeah.
And she was talking about manifesting your destiny. And I was like, damn, she really hit that on the head. Maybe I
Mm-hmm.
walked in at the right moment that I was supposed to be here.
Mm-hmm.
Because the more you feel it, the more you tell yourself, this is where I'm supposed to be, and you looking forward to it. And people putting you in the room, it's like, oh shit, I'm here now.
Most definitely, most definitely. Like I've been in, I know you go through this too. When you be in them type of rooms, and you so surprised coming where we came from, and being in them type of
Hmm.
rooms, you like, yo, am I dreaming? Nah, this ain't happening.
Right,
You know what I'm saying?
right.
And that lets you know that when you're in them type of rooms, it seems so real, but it's like, nah, you supposed to be there. Not too many people are supposed to be in that position that you in. With that,
Hmm.
certain type of person in that room. And I bet you've been in rooms with a millionaire or people that's known, that's popular in their craft, and you just like, yo, I'm here with this person. I can't believe
Right.
this. And you can't be like, you can't show them like you starstruck or whatever, but you just like in your back of your mind like, yo, I'm really
Right.
in here, like
Man, them rooms, boy.
Hey, VIP only, you heard me?
I've been in some rooms and I'm like sweating under my arms, but in front of them, I'm like, hey, long as you want.
Yeah, most definitely. Like I've been in let me tell you, I always tell everybody this. It was Art Basel night. It was like 2018.
Mhm.
And I was with my homegirl from New York. Well, she actually from Bar, but she moved to New York. She was we was to the a Prada event. It was a Prada event, and I met one of my favorite photographers that night from previously from that event. I was like, oh my god, like yo, like I met my favorite photographer of all time. I could just go home and die. You feel me? But then
Yeah.
then later on that evening at that Prada event, I ended up meeting. Well, I didn't meet her. She passed right by me. Naomi Campbell. You know what I'm
Oh
saying?
wow.
And the way she just passed by me and my friends, it was like an angel just passing by. Like she was wearing like a North Carolina blue dress, and I was just
Mhm.
like, yo, the fact that I'm in that type of room, and, you know, there's other celebrities and other people in different crafts in that room, but the fact that I'm in that room and able to talk to certain type of people in that room, that's nothing but God right there, putting me at the right place at the right time. You know, it lets you know that
Right.
it kind of motivates you that okay, I'm doing the right thing or what I'm doing. I gotta just keep on going.
Yeah. I
Hmm.
know that shit all too well.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
But so we talking about also we continue on talking about the business and stuff like that. And you talked about the clients as well. So for the people that's trying to really get clients, what are the advice would you? I mean, you already kind of already dwell in that, but talk about that some more. How would you like tell a person like how to get clients in your field? Because you know not everybody could have that drive. You know what I'm saying? Not everybody has
Mhm.
that drive. So can you give them like some pointers on that?
Most definitely. I say it all starts with one, and word of mouth is key.
Mm-hmm.
That's a very big thing because if you do what you got to do with one person, that one person turns into 20. Because that one person knows 4 or 5 people. Them 4 or 5 people know 4 or 5 people, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So they're going to look, they're going to see. Also, women are a big market.
Facts.
We
Hands
are the
down.
number one buyers and sellers of everything.
Hands
So,
down.
in order to get in our ear, it's easy. You just got you have to be able to walk it and talk it. To be honest with you, if you want to get to certain levels, but the main key I can say is word of mouth. I started doing one girl's hair. I had 2 other people asking me, and that was from her family.
Mm.
Those 2 other people brought me 4 people because then their associates at work wanted their hair done. You get what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying?
Mm-hmm.
And then from those other 4 people, I had more people, and it was a constant flow. Like, oh crap! All right, I'm doing something right. Well, let me keep going. And then you start. Then you ask your customers questions. You know
Mm-hmm.
how people say surveys and things of that sort. Start
Yeah,
asking
yeah,
them questions like, "Hey, do you like this? What do you think about that as far as your business is concerned, so you know what direction you want to grow in?
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Also, not every customer is the right customer for you. When you're doing hair, it's almost like a relationship. You never want to go to a salon and be sitting there quiet. You can't talk to nobody. You afraid of your stylist. You afraid to tell her that color that you got was wrong. No, you want to go to somebody that you can be open with. I
Mm-hmm.
think that is very detrimental when it comes to doing hair because we've lost that touch. And it used to be, I'm going to come in the salon, women have their kids, everybody, doing their thing. One person sweeping, one person curling, one person this, one person that. It's changed to, I'm the girl who get everybody. I'm the stylist. I'm the celebrity as well. You have to do what I say. You take
Yeah,
what I give
yeah.
you. It
Mm-hmm.
shouldn't be like that. It's more of, it's a humbling experience. You got to create your house. I say that a lot. You got to create your house. You got to run your house how you want your house ran.
Mm-hmm.
So as a stylist, you say for instance, you don't want to do your neighborhood girl's hair. You want to up your game and do the girl on Bell Harbor's hair. You feel
Mm-hmm.
me? You get
Mm-hmm.
those type of clients.
Take it to that
It's
next
all of how
level.
you carry yourself as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, most
You have
definitely.
to, yeah, you have to carry yourself a certain way. When I go to those clients that live in those type of places, I'm not dressed like I'm going to the store. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I don't act or talk like I'm chilling with my homies or nothing
It's
like
a
that.
time
I
and a
give
place for
them
everything.
right. I give them the proper treatment that they need. It's not a yes ma'am, no ma'am situation, but it's a courteous you're giving them what they give you, to be honest with you. Because when you walk into their homes, since I'm a traveling stylist, when you walk into their homes and hello, hi, how are you? Would you like this? Would you like that? Yes, no problem. Like you have to learn how to deal with everybody. You got to be a chameleon.
A people's
You know,
person too. You definitely have to be
right?
a people person, because if you're not a people person, outgoing, it's gonna be hard. I mean, I'm not gonna say it's
Yes, it is.
easy. I'm not gonna say it's easy. I tell people this shit ain't easy, but you learn through trial and error. That's all it really it is.
Most definitely, and that's a big thing. Don't ever think because you fail with one person that you're gonna fail with everything. No, sometimes you have your bad days. Everybody has their bad days. Have your bad days so you know how to learn from it.
Yeah.
I feel that listening is key. You get what I'm saying?
Mhm.
How you want to present yourself is key. And also the type of quality of people you want to deal with is key. You don't just deal with everyone. All
Mhm.
money ain't good money. You
Facts.
know,
Mhm.
all money is not good money. I've worked with people and it's like they're on the rise. I would love to keep working with you, but I don't like your attitude and how you treat people or how you carry yourself in society. So I'm sorry, I can't deal with you no more. You feel like you may be taking a cut back from yourself by doing that, but to be honest, you might be saving your business by
Mhm.
not dealing with that person anymore.
And
You know?
it's millions of people. It's millions of other people in the world. you know.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. That's when sitting in the room counts.
Yeah. Yeah.
When you're sitting around certain people, you're listening to their conversations, how they treat themselves, how they treat other people. That's even when you go to events and you want to interact with other people and
Mhm.
network or what have you. It's good to network, but it's not good to get out there and have to talk to everybody because
Oh
everybody's not
yeah.
for you.
Mhm.
You know,
Mhm.
watch the room. Because sometimes the quietest in the room is the person that people want to come to. The one that's talking and constantly in other people's face and always.
Yeah.
Some people are very standoffish and they get offended by that, or they feel some type
Mhm.
of way. Like, what do you want? You
And
get what
some
I'm
people
saying?
might feel like you're doing too much. Like just relax.
Right. Right. Don't do too much. Just chill. I remember I went to an event and I was the quietest. I just sat there. Mind you, I didn't know nobody. I was invited by somebody that I knew, but I didn't know not a soul in the room. But
Mhm.
people gravitated to me
The aura.
just because of how I looked. This one woman, she said, "Oh, I liked what you picked up off the table to eat." I was like, "What I ate?" I went with it. I was like, "All
Yeah, yeah. And you know what's so crazy? When you the quietest person in the room, you start to understand that it's weird people out here. You know what I'm saying? I'm
right."
weird too. But it's levels of weird. You know what I'm saying?
Right. It really is. Like, you watching me eat? Okay.
Yeah, I'm
I
glad you.
mean, it's funny to say that, but it's true. People really do want to see who you are. It could
Mm-hmm.
be that millionaire. That's the
Yep.
weirdo type.
Yep.
But they're watching who you are and how you carry yourself. And the mere fact that you're not doing too much and you're still very personable. You get what I'm saying? You're
Yep.
still
Yep.
able to talk to people who come up to you. You're not standoffish. And they're like, you know what, that might be a good asset for me. Let me see what they're about or what they do.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All that, all that comes full circle when you're trying to build a business.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to be one particular way. You can mold yourself to be whatever you want. And I also tell a lot of people who are trying to build a business, don't let your past carry you. It don't matter what nobody thought about you back then. It don't matter who, what, when got what on you, wherever. It don't matter because as you build yourself, they're not even going to be able to recognize you no more if you're doing what you got to be doing.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Right. I'm glad you brought that up because I feel like a lot of people, not just in your field, but in other different fields and different people that do different things. I feel like that's very important on the networking part because a lot of people think that just because it's a networking event, quote unquote, or if it's like a networking situation, that you have to talk to everybody, and that's not really true at all.
Mm-hmm.
But
Nope.
how did you learn to start doing designs in your clients' hair? Because I'm not gonna lie, and I'm not saying this because I know you or whatever. Your hairstyles, oh my god, it's like it's like that right there on what you do and your designs. It lets me know like, yo, this is a art. this is officially like a art. You kind of really put me on game on the art perspective of it. You know, I never really thought of it. And you and Margot, actually, you guys are the ones that really put me on game. Like, yo, this is really an art. You know, putting designs and stuff like that. So, how did you learn that?
Yeah, Margot's my girl. As far as that's concerned, I told you I was in the arts, and what that does, it opens you up to not looking at the same things. Like, I don't just look at hair.
Yeah.
You know, I may look at somebody weaving a basket. I may watch how they weave that basket. But in my mind, I'm like, yo, I weave a braid like that. I got 3 strands, and I can weave that. What if I add 1 more strand? What if I did a basket type hat? What if I, I just like you read books, I watch people do hair in other countries. I will watch somebody, I can watch you build a house and how you maneuver. I want to watch you. I'm a very visual learner. And with that, I'll take it and run with it. Wow. I saw a stylist in Europe. She was using pin curls. That's something that we, curl it up and put a pin in it to hold the curl or whatever the case may be. She was using pin curls and hairspray to make some type of, like, statue with the hair or whatever the case may be. And I took that to a whole nother realm. I was like, what if I did that with braids? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I started playing with it in my room on my little mannequin. Like, what if I could just, I know it ain't gonna stay up with hairspray, but I could put a pin in it, like, it's different way. Well, maybe I could sew it down, but art is imitation of life. I truly believe that. I could walk outside and get inspiration from a damn tree, to be honest with you. But it has to tie into what I'm doing. I will research what I'm doing for a client. This is what you want? All right, cool. Let me see what I could do,
Yeah.
Like, what would I want? Like, I worked with a company and they asked me to do this specific hairstyle. And I always want to be the person that stands out in the room. So I started doing the hair and I was like, I'm not going to stand out with this. And I thought about something that I saw in the video where, they was making the hair stand up on their head or whatever the case may be. And I was like, I'm finna do this. So I tried it.
Wow.
Stood out. That was the picture they used over and over and over again in their campaign. I was like, all right, cool.
Yeah.
So,
but go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, I was just thinking, like, what design would you say you got influenced by the most? Like, based on what you said, like, when you go outside and just look at different things, what design would you say that inspired you from just everyday life?
Oh, I can give you that. That's so easy. Remember those keychains from back in the day?
Yeah.
That girls used to do in the class, and it was like almost like they were stacking, but they were like braiding on top of each other.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Yeah. And they would make like the little squares.
Yeah.
Make, like,
with the different colors.
Round, right, with all type of different shapes and everything. That's the same thing that black girls do with their hair, except we don't take it to the extent of making hearts and all type of craziness with it sometimes. So, like, that, honestly, that was it right there. That's what really taught me, like, yo, I can do anything I want with this.
Wow.
It's so small. It's something so minute.
You would never know. You would never know. You would never know.
Right. But it just stuck with me, and I always visualize that thing. Always.
This honestly, this is as a fan perspective. This is what I want. As a fan, I would want to see like a show from you, like a whole art show of like your hair, not just like a photography point of view, just like the different hairstyles that you could do, and just put it in like, I don't know, like on a mannequin or something like that. That would be very awesome. This is something that I'm putting out in the air so you could do. You know what I'm saying? So I could see, just me being a fan of it. Like, I'm just amazed because by you saying that with the keychain, I was just like, yo, you would never know. Like, but so for the people that don't know, what is Kiyomihouse? What is that?
Kiyomi means pure beauty in
Mm-hmm.
Japanese.
Mm-hmm.
And I always thought that it was a cool name. You know,
That
I
is
just
hard.
looked
That
up
is a hard
names. I
name.
always thought that was a cool name. And I was like, pure beauty, how can I incorporate that with what I'm doing? And I started off in the house. So I
Mm-hmm.
was like, well, you know, that makes sense. House of Kiyomi, House of Pure Beauty.
Mm-hmm.
So, and plus it's a name that kind of pulls people in because they always ask, what does Kiyomi mean?
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's a conversation piece. So I was like, let me incorporate this into what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm. Most definitely. Based on like, me knowing you and doing my little research on different things and what you told me, I'm growing out my hair, so
Mm-hmm.
let's talk about the importance of people knowing about natural hair care versus products and hair products.
Okay, as far as that is concerned, my biggest deal is I feel like people should start from the inside out.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to grow something from the top. You
Mm-hmm.
have to go inside. Your nails grow from the inside out. Your hair grows from the inside out. Your skin looks better and better when you do it. Drink water, you know, take your
Yeah,
vitamins and
yeah.
things of that sort. That starts from the inside out. I have had a lot of women ask me, oh, my hair is not growing this certain type of way. What can I do? Or I'm stressed out and this, that, and the third. Well, first of all, you might need to meditate. Just saying, you know,
Yeah, yeah.
like, do you take vitamins? I ask these questions. Do you take vitamins? Do you exercise? What is your daily routine? You know,
Mm-hmm.
maybe this hairstyle is not going for your daily routine because it's not lasting long enough for you. You know, you got people who are very much active. But as far as like natural hair care, that is a big thing.
Mm-hmm.
The beauty industry, I feel, puts a lot of chemicals in hair products that we use.
Mm-hmm.
Women are very susceptible to all these toxins because hell, we use lye on our nails and that can melt down the damn can. You know, we
Mm-hmm.
use all these different colorful sprays in our hairs, and we use um what they call it, like the Jerry curl mixes, and basically it's
Mm-hmm.
chemicals and everything.
Yeah.
So you got chemicals and everything that's being absorbed into your skin. Your skin is the biggest organ on your whole body. Once it's
Mm-hmm.
been wet and the pores have been opened, that means that it's absorbing everything that is taken. You get what
And
I'm
that what
saying?
really makes your hair dirty, do you think? Is that what it is? Like, since your
Say
pores are
that again.
open. So since your pores are open and you have all that, ingredients in your hair and that goes into your pores, does that make your hair more dirtier or something like that?
If you have buildup, if you're not
Yeah.
washing it and things of that sort, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that comes with the territory.
Yeah.
But that's not just one thing that's going to cause things to go haywire.
Mm-hmm.
You know, um, that's why I was saying, as far as natural products, if you make your products in your home, if you can't eat it, don't use it. It doesn't make sense that you would go to the hospital and go get the hospital grade medicine, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's made in the lab. You know it might cause something else in your body to go wrong.
Yeah.
But I tell you, hey, use this leaf, and you look at me like I'm crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense to
Yeah.
you?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Mm-hmm.
you rather take synthetic medicine to make you better, but really it's going to make you worse and throw something else off, rather than you just eating this leaf, drinking this tea. You get
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Taking this vitamin, something that you can't overload on that's going to mess you up. I think that makes no sense, to be honest with you.
I agree.
So I'm very, very deep on telling women, go get your coconut oil, go get your walnut oil, go get this argan oil, go get it. You can make oil out of anything. Go get any neem plant, go get all that. Make your oil, infuse your own thing, go get rosebud oil. You get what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
Not even just oils, you can make your own creams at home. You can do all this stuff. If that's something that I would do, I would teach women how to make their own at-home products. Yes, yes.
Yeah. That's
Think
that's.
about it. If the pharmacist can make so much money off of you, if a pharmacist can make so much money off of you, somebody who deals in drugs can make so much money off of you. Why won't you do anything to combat that?
Yeah. No, I
Your
agree.
hair is not that's just one thing in the whole entire body. This is a serious subject to me, you
Nah,
know?
yeah, I agree because the more I've researched on different things, and thanks to you, I be careful on what product I get because I remember you telling me
Mhm.
about you got to be very careful on the alcohol stuff that is in these products, and me just and I also being a pescatarian, trying to be a pescatarian myself, how that's important to the skin as well, and water, that's very important, drinking more water, and how vitamin C, that's all that implements into the whole body, even including your hair, and
Yep.
and, and that's I'm like, yo, that I didn't know that at all till you mentioned that to me.
Yep. And especially for my ladies who eat a lot of meat.
Yeah.
So it takes a whole week for one day of meat to come out of your system, or one meal, right?
Mhm.
Red meat. You're eating that every single day, and it's stopping up your system and clogging your arteries with the fats and all this other type of stuff that come into your system with it.
Mhm.
What do you? And then you're coming to me, and I can see on your body. I can just look at you and tell you don't take no vitamins, no nothing. Or you say you take vitamins and you drink water, but what are you eating?
Yeah, cause that meat is still stuck in your body. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yes.
little.
Our food here in the U.S. is banned in over what 50, 60 countries.
Yeah.
It's not good for us. I
Mm-mm.
mean, it's hard to get away from it because the cheapest shit to keep us afloat, you know.
Mm-hmm. But I tell
But at
people
the
all the
same
time.
time,
It's what I learned. Believe it or not, that if you get these fruits and vegetables and different things, it's actually cheaper. You know what I'm saying? If you think about it,
mm,
because it could last you the whole week. It's not that as
yeah.
expensive.
But what fruits and vegetables you getting? Do you know if it's seedless or does it have seeds? They got seedless watermelons now. How do you get anything fertile from something that's infertile?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There's no fertility in that. Yeah, you're gonna eat your fruits and your vegetables, but then you got to be careful with that as well.
Yeah, it's a
Like it's
lot of
a
things. I
whole
ain't gonna lie.
circle.
It is a lot of things that you have to be careful. I'm not gonna lie. I just told myself the other day, like, damn, it's like you really have to be careful with everything you eat and with the intake of what you really put in your body. And
The easiest thing I can say is if you grow it yourself, you'll be fine.
oh, facts, yo, I'm glad you said that because I went to a farm one time and I tasted a banana in that farm. I'm like, yo, I looked at I looked at my homeboy. I'm like, yo, this tastes way different than what I taste in stores. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mm,
it tastes more fresh. Like, it don't taste as processed. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
it's just like, damn, that's crazy.
yeah. Even chicken. If you ever had fresh chicken, like just killed chicken that day, it tastes way different than the chicken you eat.
Mm.
You'll be like, damn, this chicken tastes like it got dirt in
But
it.
yeah, and you know
Like,
what it is? They store it. They store it, so that's why it tastes the way it tastes.
you go to another country, that meat does not sit out for days and days in no packaging. That meat come out that day, they throw it the rest away.
Wow.
Yeah, they don't hold on to meat like that. That's not good.
Yeah, man. You gotta
But I
stay healthy.
digress.
Yeah, you gotta stay healthy, man. I during this quarantine, I tell people all the time, stay healthy.
Hmm.
It's a reason why we're saying this. It's not because we just want to sound cool. It's really designed for us as people to eat all these bad foods. You know what I'm saying? And it's not helping you, and you're most likely to get the illnesses that's around the world because your immune system is not on point. And I learned that my grandma
Right.
used to always tell me that, and I ain't listened until like, yo, this past year. I'm like, yo, I should have listened at all this time. I wonder why I was getting sick so easily, you know.
Mm.
And now you start to understand it. But
Yeah.
we talked about the natural hair care. So do you think what are the roles that go into being a cosmetologist and a hairstylist, and what are the difference between these roles? 'Cause I know it's kind of varies in those roles.
Well, a cosmetologist is well versed in different things. Once
Mm.
you get that license, you can do nails, you can do hair, you can work on skin.
Mhm.
Then you have people who do specialties. So specialties are like, I specialize in being an esthetician. I'm just going to school just for skin, you know?
Yeah.
Or somebody just specializing in nails. They're just going to school just for nails, you know?
Yeah.
That's nail tech. And then you got people who go to school just to learn how to wax or whatever the case may be. But for me, I learned everything. I learned hair, skin, and nails. And that made me a full-fledged cosmetologist.
Mhm. Would you say if a person just said like, you know, if they're just like a hairstylist, would they be kind of like being isolated on that, or is it just that just depends on the person?
As far as being a hairstylist, it depends. Like if you're trying to legitimize it, then you will be a cosmetologist. You will have to take all of that in one, no matter what. You
Mhm.
can't just go to school just for one thing. But
Yeah.
don't get me wrong, they do have people who can just be certified in doing natural hair braids. Like, you know how people go get their certificates for just braiding?
Yeah.
So what that does for them, they can't use chemicals. Like, they can't go use a perm in anybody's hair. They can't use relaxers. They can't do anything as far as any harsh chemicals in anyone's hair. So that's kind of what sets the difference, you know?
Okay.
Then you have people who don't go to school at all. So,
on the
and they working under the table.
on the low, for real. It's a lot. It's a
Right.
lot. It's a lot now. You know, it's a lot.
Right,
But
right.
I don't blame them. You know,
But
get it how you fit in.
I don't either. I mean, hey, do what you got to do. I encourage people to go to school. Don't get me wrong, because you do learn a lot more as far as like sanitation and things of that sort when it comes to doing hair, because you always want to make sure you keep yourself safe as well as your clients safe.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as just doing hair, if you just braid and you call it a day, that's fine. But you wouldn't know what to look for. You wouldn't know to go do a consultation and look through your client's hair, make sure it don't have any cuts and abrasions or bleeding or anything like that, you know?
Mm-hmm.
They teach you about diseases. They teach you about not catching those diseases. They teach you about if you see something, instead of you doing that person's hair, you refer them to a doctor. You know, we take the same state board test as nurses when it comes to that concern. So
Yeah.
it's very serious when it comes to keeping yourself protected with people doing hair. People think, oh, hair is just hair. You ain't gonna get stick off in no hair. Yes,
You'd be
you can.
surprised. Yeah.
Those the same way that they take they get DNA testing through hair, or they could do testing for like drug tests and stuff like that. Those follicles and everything, that's serious.
Mm-hmm.
That's serious. You're dealing with somebody that got a serious disease and you're doing their hair, you might end up having to deal with that disease yourself. So you have to be careful. You have to, that's why legitimizing your business and everything like that, as far as a cosmetologist is concerned, is serious. We have to go through having MSDS charts. That's where you make a chart of every single chemical that you're using in your whole facility, you know?
Mm-hmm.
You have to have certain regulations when it comes to having a salon or what have you. Like, there's steps to it. Just like anybody who wants to get on the right track with it, there's steps to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you just doing hair out of your house and you doing your cousin, sister, brother, auntie hair, that's fine. Do that. And it's been getting you where you going, do your thing. But I'm always going to encourage a person to go to school and learn more.
Yeah, hands down. Yeah, I learned that through my uncle being in his barbershop. Like, you know how important sanitation is very, very important in the barbershop or salon. So that's
Mm-hmm.
very important. So tell me a crazy story that you know you dealt with a client. Like
Oh,
if you
man.
can, if you can.
No, I can't. So I had this lady while I was still doing hair in my house.
Mhm.
I had this one lady, she was up in age, and all I did was open the door, literally, and breathe. And she was like, you ain't got to do my hair. I was like, yo, this lady crazy, but I'm still doing her hair. So I let her in
Yo,
my house.
she was an older woman. She was an older woman.
Older woman, yeah.
Hey, how do I know? How do I know? That's crazy.
I was like, you know what? I ain't gonna say nothing, because I had to learn how to bite my tongue and how to deal with different people.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm gonna just let her in. She probably having a bad day. They ain't got nothing to do with me. I'm like,
Hey,
let's go get the coin.
at first it's hard. It's hard to hold your tongue. I'm not gonna lie. It's hard.
It is. that's something you gotta learn.
Yeah, for real.
But I learned it's better to say nothing sometimes than to put yourself in a line of fire that you don't know. You might mess up and talk to the wrong person wrong, and that might end your whole career. You know.
Yeah.
But that don't mean you take shit from everybody. But I digress. She came in my house. She sat in my chair, and as soon as she sat down, I think because I took a deep breath. You know how you take a deep breath?
Yeah.
You just like. She turned around in the chair and was like, I'm saying, you ain't got to do my hair. I don't know. I was like, yo, she tripping.
Yeah.
But I said that to myself in my head. So I started doing her hair and going through it. We watching TV or whatever. And my mom, she kicking up stuff, just doing her real hospitality type of person.
Mm-hmm.
She make food for people, give them drinks or whatever the case may be. And I'm talking to her, and I get into a deep subject. When I get political and I'm talking about health or whatever the case may be with a person, I get deep because I be serious about it. And I'm talking to her. I think she forgot that she was mad at me because she stopped me out of nowhere. And she was like, I want to say something to you. I was like, what? I want to apologize. And me, in the back of my head, I'm like, girl, let's get this apology. But but with her, I kept it civil. I kept it business like. I was like, what for? There's nothing you need to apologize for. And she was like, I want to apologize to you for judging you before I got to know you.
That's
like,
respect.
You're a very
That's
smart
respect.
young lady.
Mm-hmm.
She was like, I didn't expect that. She said, when I usually go to other people's salons or get my hair done from people, they act a certain type of way, and I just judged you and thought you were going to act that same way.
Yeah, that's respect, though.
Right. And the only thing I told her, I was like, don't worry about it. It's okay. I'm glad that you were able to get a chance to get to know me and you, and now we can move on. She's been my client ever since.
Yeah, that's respect, because especially for an older woman, mostly older people, they tend to have a little pride, you know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, the fact that she, bossed up and, she admitted like, yo, I'm sorry, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's respect.
Yeah, definitely.
So who would you say are your A-list clients that you've done work for that people know about? If you could say. Just name a couple. It ain't gotta be a 5. It just be a couple.
No, it's okay. So recently I got a chance to work with a young lady her name is Giselle. She's a model.
Mm-hmm.
I think her name is Ugly Worldwide on Instagram. Okay. So I got a chance to work with her doing Art Basel, and she's so sweet. Yeah, it was chill. Like, I didn't know who she was, to be honest with you. Mm-hmm. And when people started seeing her on my page, they were like, oh my God, you work with Giselle, girl, you finna be rich. And I was like, people go overboard.
Yeah.
But
to us, it's just like, it's really a client, you know what I'm saying? But then, to everybody else, it's like, oh my God.
Right. And I've also worked with, thank you God, I've also worked with Sadella Marley, Bob Marley's daughter.
Yeah.
Yeah, she used to come pick me up, and well, not her personally, she'd have a driver come pick me up and bring me down to where she lives in Florida, because they are based in Florida. And this is through his marriage, his daughter through his marriage. Mm-hmm. And they live in this nice big mansion. It was real cool. I worked with a young lady named Aja. I think her name's Aja. I worked with her through the Super Bowl, and it was really cool working with her. She's a very well-known dancer. Mm-hmm. And I did her hair for the Super Bowl. It was like last minute, but I did not know that I was in a celebrity's house.
Wow.
Doing her hair. She was staying with a friend. She was like, oh, you just gonna come to my friend's house. I'm like, all right, cool, girl. And I came there, and it was Erica Mena.
Oh, yeah.
That's her name.
Love and Hip Hop.
It was her house. Mm-hmm. Yeah, not to name drop. I'm sorry, I forgot your name. But
it's all good.
But it was a lady from Love and Hip Hop, and I was just like, no, it wasn't Erica Mena. Excuse me. I'm sorry, I was the wrong person. It was. What is her name? She's on Love and Hip Hop Miami. She was one of the Spanish artists.
Oh, I know you're talking about. I don't know if you want me to... I forgot her name, but...
It wasn't, Amada.
It.
It was the other young lady who she had a discretion with their first season. I
Oh.
forget her name, but it was her, and I was like, oh my god! In my head, I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah, but you know
And
what's.
she was telling.
Go ahead. No, go ahead. Go
Go
ahead.
ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. My
She,
bad.
she was telling stories or whatever the case may be about something that was going on in her life. I can't mention what was going on, but
Mm-hmm.
I was just giving her information back and forth. Just being real subtle, talking to her. And come to find out, we had mutual friends. We had
Small
not
world.
like friend, but one of her friends, her cousin, I used to work in the salon for. And I'm like, look at God putting me in in the same room. You know. Who else? I don't know. I told you I got a chance to deal with Coco from SWB.
Shout out to the
I've
homegirl
worked with.
Susie. Shout out to the homegirl Susie.
Yes, Susie Analog. I can never forget. That is my girl. I've worked with Susie Analog, and I still do to this day. Of course, when I'm quarantined, and she checks up on me all the time. But that's my girl. So if y'all don't know about Susie Analog,
They
y'all
know.
better go
Hey,
look
they
her
know.
up.
They know. Hey, shout out to Susie Analog. She was
If
on
you
last
see her
season.
hair and anything, Vogue, Paper, Grammys, all that's me, honey. That's all me.
Most definitely. So let's talk about I know I have this conversation with my uncle all the time. But let's talk about like conversation based on with your clients and how important that is and how like that's like a form of therapy within the client. Let's talk about that. Let's elaborate how that goes about and how important that is for you and the client.
I think that's very important because, like I said, having a client and stylist relationship is like being in a regular relationship, almost like you're married, They get a chance to tell you everything and you tell them everything. Everybody gets very personal, especially if they've been around you for more than 2 or 3 times. They start to open up. And sometimes it could be that first time because they feel something on you and it makes them want to open up. So it's kind of like you're their therapist. And you got to keep that stylist confidentiality, between you and the client. And that's what makes it work. That's why I was always saying that as far as working in the salon, I really didn't like it too much. And I like working one-on-one with my clients because I've had clients that appreciate the mere fact that I come to them because they don't like to be seen in a different type of light going to these different salons or dealing with certain people. So they only deal with me. I don't talk about what they got going on. They don't talk about what I got going on. And you kind of build a family. That is a very, very, very important thing, especially when you deal with business. It don't even just have to be with hair. It can be with anything. Some businesses you get into even when you interviewing, when you're off the mic and you're talking to one of your customers or clients, they might tell you something you can't tell nobody else. That's it, and they confide in you because they trust you. In that moment, they feel something in you, and I think that is very, very important.
And it's those relationships, like it's like them private conversations that it's like you want to tell the world, but you can't really tell the world. But this is something in the memory of back of your mind. You just have it just for you. You know what I'm saying? And especially with certain people, and also the people that you meet that you just fans of, and you can't believe you just met that person. Just like how I told you, just like how I told I told you the story when I met my favorite photographer of all time. And I had like a legitimate conversation with him. You know what I'm saying? And I was just like, yo, I'm having a conversation with Jonathan Mannion, the legendary Jonathan Mannion that took all these pictures of Biggie and Tupac and all these other famous names in the hip hop world. And I'm just like, yo, you know what I'm saying? I can't even say like what we talked about. You know what I'm saying? It's them moments, especially when you have conversation with not only just friends, but just and honestly, like me, doing interviews. You know what I'm saying? Of like my podcast, it's just like having that piece of like just information or just conversation that we all have, and it's just a amazing moment. So I definitely feel you on that.
Yeah. With that being said, I met a couple of people through my girl Dele.
Okay.
A lot of singers and photographers and models and things of that sort. And to be honest with you, when she told me about these people, I didn't know who they were. You know, I
Mm-hmm.
wasn't. Maybe I'm not that well versed in the field as I thought I was, but they aren't mainstream. But everybody know who they are. You know.
Yeah. Yeah.
And when I got a chance to sit down and talk with them, I treated them as if they were my next door neighbor, like my sister, my brother. And now our relationships are great. You know, they can call me anytime, they can talk to me anytime. And I thought that was wonderful, like, to build those types of relationships with those type of people. Like, I got put in the room with, to be front row at our Basel. You didn't get a chance to go to it, but it was phenomenal. And oh man, if you were if you were there to meet the people, to talk to them hands on, like they created that that bubble for whoever's there. You get to talk to them. You know, Vic Mensa was there. What's the guy's name? Hoodie.
Yeah, I know you're talking about. I think he's from North Miami, right? I think.
Yeah, he's from Miami.
Yeah.
Yeah, tall brother with long hair. Yeah, it was a couple other artists there. I can't even say all of them, but it was a lot. And just to be in the same room, be in front row, being able to talk to them afterwards, kick back, chill, you know, I was like, wow, this is something. So those conversations matter because those built relationships to other things. You know?
Yeah, hands down. Relationship is key. I keep on telling people.
Yeah, who you know, not what you know sometimes.
Yeah. So you were a part of the Chromat and Reebok collaboration. How was that accomplishment? I'm sorry, like for you coming from where you came from.
That was fun. That was really fun. It was fun because of the things that happened behind the scenes. Like they kicked us off this out the garage. Like security came because you know photographers they got to get the shot wherever they can get the shot. And you get busted. It is what it is. It was just cool, you know. I got a chance to work with Becca. She is one of the owners of Chromat Swimwear. And she used to be a designer. She used to be an architect, excuse me. And she took that, she took that knowledge of architecture and implemented it into a clothing line, well, a swimwear line. And all the pieces that you see, she gets that influence from different buildings or different places that she's gone to. And with that, through Susie Analog, by the way, I got a chance to meet her. We got really, you know, acquainted or whatever. And I kept seeing her, and she got acquainted with me as well. And I don't know, it just came together. She saw me do Susie's hair. Susie has been in some of her shoots as well. So one day I just got a call from her, and she was like, "Hey, I got a shoot. Do you want to do it?" I was like, "Yeah, sure." You know, you think you just doing something for a friend. I got there and it was Reebok. I was like, oh, I gotta kill this. I didn't know this was Reebok. You know, I'm freaking out, calling people. I'm like, yo, this is Reebok.
Yeah, you can't fold on the pressure. Pressure.
Right.
You excited. You excited, but he's like, nah, I gotta get work. I know I'm excited. I don't even know what to do, but then I gotta do this.
Right. And to be honest with you, I was the only hairstylist there. Wow. The only one. And I was so grateful. I'm like, wow, you called me out of everybody to do this. This is dope. So I got there, I did my job, and I had a couple of moments that I felt like I hiccuped on because maybe my nerves got to me, but the shoot came out perfect. I got to know the curator of the shoot, and he works with Reebok behind the scenes, and he was actually coming to me, asking me for pointers about his hair. So it all tied into each other, I guess, because Becca brought me to the table and he felt he can trust what I had to say, and that meant a lot to me, you know. But that whole shoot and everything that happened with that was a blessing. And still to this day, those photos are still used. You know, they're on the site, and I can easily click on and be like, yo, that's me. All three of them, that's me. And it was invigorating. To compare that to everything that I've done, I think that kind of put a bit of icing on the cake, you know? Like, I really belong here. I belong in this room. I belong around these people because sometimes you down yourself. You know, like, dang, I ain't really getting as quick as I want, but it's not about how fast, you know. You just gotta be steady and keep
Perfect
doing what you're
timing.
doing.
Perfect timing. That's all it is.
Right. I didn't even know it was Reebok. Think about that. Like,
Mhm.
I walked in the room and I'm like, yo, I'm looking at the shoes, looking at the clothes. I'm like, hold on, Becca, you did a collaboration with Reebok? She's like, yeah, girl.
And
I
to
was
us,
like, wow.
that's normal. It's like it's whatever. Not normal, but it's like it's whatever. Like, you know, so you on to the next. You trying
Yeah.
to everybody still worry about what I done in the past. So it's just like, yeah, I understand. I definitely
Yeah,
understand that.
man. But it was a blessing. I'm thankful for it. It's not, it didn't make me a millionaire or anything, but it is a stepping stone. That's
Yeah.
something that I could put on my resume and say, hey, I did this, and it'll open even more doors for me. You know.
Yeah. Yeah. Most definitely. I mean, by this interview, I've learned so much, and I'm just like, yo. And even with my hair, you know, growing up and having different hairstyles, you start to understand that hair is a form of style. Hair is essential towards your style. You know, when you walk out the
Mhm.
house, you just like, yeah, I gotta have my hair like this because you know I'm wearing a certain type of vibe today. You know what I'm saying? Like it's
Yeah.
very important, male and you know female. Like it's just a type of it's a vibe. You know what I'm saying? Because I know with my hair, the different hairstyles it was like a point in my life that I had to have that hairstyle. You know what I'm saying? It's like a form of
Yeah.
your life. So that's why you know I appreciate this interview because I learned so much and yeah, I had to
Well,
get you
thank you.
on. You feel me?
Well, your hair is your world sometimes. So a lot of people, and hair is a hierarchy, your hierarchy. Excuse me. It shows where you stand in life too.
Mm-hmm.
So I always tell people, you know, cleanliness is next to godliness. You gotta keep yourself up. How you want the world to see you is how they treat you. So
Exactly.
for me to do hair and have a woman walk out of my station, or me go to her house and do her hair and she feel good about herself when I leave, let me know that when she walks in the world, she gonna walk with her head high.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
that ties into everything. It's a blessing to me and a blessing to her.
Mm-hmm. So, what's the future looking like for you? What's your future plans?
Well, to keep it blood raw with you, I have no idea. COVID-19
Well,
has put a
true,
halt.
true, 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 true. I ain't gonna lie. I
It has
forgot.
put a halt.
I
No,
forgot my
but
COVID.
it feels good to still be recognized because you reached out to me even in the middle of all of these things that's going on. People still know who I am.
No,
You
of
know,
course.
they're still seeking, they're still looking. I still get calls every day about hair. I'm just trying to keep myself safe right now.
Mm-hmm.
And as far as the future holds, I don't know. I really want to teach. I've always said that. That's one thing that I want to do. I want to teach people how to treat themselves when it comes to natural hair care or just being natural, period. But
Mm-hmm.
I got to even walk in those steps further for me to be able to tell somebody more about it.
Mm-hmm.
So right now it's detrimental, just me studying and just me trying to figure out, you know, what's going on in life around me and trying to use that to my advantage, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll be actually like interested if you have like a YouTube channel. You know what I'm saying? You
Hmm.
know that should be one of the things. 'Cause I feel like you can give so much game on that perspective. So, that's something you should look into, in my opinion. I think a lot of and because especially the designs that you've done, and yeah, like I think that would be even if you like have a subscription of having a class that should be A1. Like I just interviewed a girl. She's a model and her name is Lola Shell. She was on the last
Hmm.
episode.
Yeah, I heard that one. I
Yeah.
actually got a chance to chime in on it. That
Yeah.
was really good.
Appreciate it,
It was really
appreciate it.
good.
And
Yeah.
she has like a university, like a model university that teaches young ladies or women in general how to model. You know what I'm saying, or different
Yeah.
steps of modeling, and I think that's that's a good way of doing things. If teaching is very powerful, because not some people could go to school or what I'm saying, or like a different type of university or however a person do it. So that'll be a
Yeah,
very
I
good
like
way.
her concept on that because she's really giving a lot of young girls a way
Yeah.
to a different perspective. You know, you don't
Mm,
have to look a certain type of way. You don't have to be a certain type of way. It's for everybody. So let's give it in. You know,
most
I like
definitely.
that.
So last question. What advice would you give a young aspiring cosmetologist and hairstylist that want to pursue the similar path you took?
Don't do it like me. Do it like you.
Mm-hmm.
It's all about originality. Don't look at what nobody else is doing. Take whatever influences you have and run with it. Don't let nothing hold you back. Don't listen to nobody. Don't not you gotta listen to yourself. Them voices in your head that's telling you you can and you will and that's where you're going. Listen to that. Because there's gonna be a lot of people that tell you, no, don't do that, you might not make no money, or no, I don't think you should do that, but that's their own
Yeah.
opinion.
Yeah.
You can't go off of nobody else's opinions. You got to go off your own spirit, your own vibe. Because when you're being yourself and moving in your own light, that's when people love you more. That's when people want to be around you. And people not going to be there in the beginning, but they'll be there in the end. You got to
Mm-hmm.
do what you got to do.
They'll definitely be there at the end. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
But that's respect, man. Like I appreciate you for being on this episode. I really do appreciate it. I feel like I
Well,
had to
thank
get
you
you
for
on.
having me.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people will get a lot of gain from this episode. I feel like it's not too many interviews of like cosmetologists and hairstylists, and that's why I want to interview you because to give a perspective on what you go through or what goes into your field.
Mm-hmm.
So
Well, I appreciate you having me on here, and it's actually a couple of things I want to talk to you about when we get off here.
okay, no
We
problem.
collab on some stuff, so.
It's nothing but love. I'm all down with it, so it ain't nothing. So how can the people get in touch with you before we leave?
Well, right now, my Instagram is still up and running. It's under construction, but I still answer every single DM, questions that you have, whatever the case may be.
Mm-hmm.
And it's at Kiyomihouse. That's the @ sign, and it's KIYOMIHOUSE. My email is attached to it, so you can click the link. But if you don't have Instagram, you can always email me at khclient9@gmail.com.
Most definitely. And we'll have it in the description for everybody that's tuning in. So, all right, that's it for episode 26, and we are out.
Peace.
And that's a wrap for episode 26 of the Behind the Beard podcast. Man, I learned so much from Rabiah this evening, man. It's just crazy. I didn't even know what really goes on in the behind the scenes of what cosmetologists go through and the hairstylists go through. You learn so much. At first you would think that, these people just do hair, but now they go really in depth into the health issues and, of the dynamics of everything, as well as, when you have your client, you have like more of a therapeutic stage in their point of view, you know what I'm saying? Because they get to talk to you, you know what I'm saying? They get a peace of mind when they sit in your chair doing their hair. Even it goes on for barbers as well too, like I talked about with my uncle. So man, shout outs to her, man. And we talked about business and how important business is. You see, each episode we talk about business, you know what I'm saying? Like, and how important that is to implement that and what you got going on in your craft. So I tell people all the time, make sure that you understand the business aspect of it and understand that get your LLCs, you know what I'm saying? Get all that in handy in your EIN and stuff like that. So you could just, be on the legal side of things. So when somebody take you serious, they could track your, information on your business side. They be like, all right, I could take you serious now. You know what I'm saying? So I keep that in mind. So on that note, follow me on all social media platforms at by Aaron J. Jackson, BYAARON And make sure you follow the FGO Network on all social media platforms at Fuck Going Out. FUCKGOINGOUT. Also, make sure you subscribe to the FGO Network on all our platforms such as YouTube, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, and Apple Podcasts. And also share with your family, share with your friends, on the whole movement. Share this episode with everybody. Share it on Instagram, Twitter, whatever social media platform you got. You know what I'm saying? Try to make it do what it do. So I'm going to give you a little hint on what's going on next week's episode. And on episode 27, I will be having a celebrity chef from the 305, from the crib. You feel me? I ain't gonna give y'all too much, but I just had to let y'all know because I'm very excited to release this upcoming interview. You know what I'm saying? And I'm a big fan of hers, so I just had to, give y'all a little sprinkle on that. But anyway, I will see you next week, and I'm out.